Hi YouTube friends, Alicia here with a quick video. This is take 3. My other videos were like 12 minutes long and I don't want them that long because of uploading purposes. So I'm just gonna get started. I asked on Junk Journal Junkies chat group this morning about doing back to the basic videos of junk journals and the basic supplies. So this is mostly for people that are just starting junk journal or those that are looking for some basic information. So your basic things to start with, of course, is a cover and paper. I have this cut for my cover. It's an old chocolate box. I just cut it down to the size. You have lots of options for covers. You can use, cardstock or book covers, envelopes, file folders, whatever you want. That's totally up to you. You basically just have to decide how sturdy you want your cover, and then, of course, go from there. Okay, and then your second thing is your paper. For this journal, I'm going to be using coffee dye paper, and of course other paper, but coffee dye paper and scrapbook paper, and just paper that I already have. And paper is your choice again. You can use all coffee dye paper, no coffee dye paper, recycling, all scrapbook paper. Use what you have, use what you like. Don't use something because somebody else used it and you think you have to use it too. Use what you want. Okay? Then your third thing is your ephemera to go into your journal. This, once again, is up to you too. I have journals that have just about no ephemera in them because I use them simply for writing. I have journals that have tons of ephemera. It's totally your choice. Make a journal that you want to use, if it's for yourself, or if it's for a swap, that follows the swap rules. But keep it your style, if that makes sense. Don't make a journal based on what somebody else does. And I think that's where people get very overwhelmed in the journal making, is they think that their journal has to be somebody else's style or way, and it doesn't. Journal making is about what you want, the way you want it. So do that when making a journal. And when watching my videos or anybody else's, keep that in mind. They're their videos. They're journals. They're not telling you how to make yours. So, I have black and white ephemera that I printed off. I'm not going to show you all the images because I will show that journal when it's done. And then, of course, I have some tags. Oops. Doilies. Paper bag. This is just stuff I just grabbed for the sake of the video. There's obviously going to be a lot more going into this journal. But, you don't need to see 100 pieces of paper to figure out that I put paper in my junk journals. Okay, and then, of course, you have your adhesives. So, wet glue, glue stick, double-sided tape. You can use whatever glue you want. Most people use a wet glue or a hot glue gun because it sticks better than, a glue stick. But when you're gluing, like, say, a napkin or something, you're not going to use a wet... Well, you can use Mod Podge, but you're not going to want to use a thick, like, tacky glue. So for napkins and thin material, I use a glue stick. And, of course, you have an option of the ATG gun for, your tape adhesives. I personally won't be investing in one. I like these rolls of tape that I pick up at my dollar store. So that is what I use for that. Okay, and then you have your craft paints. I have lots of colors. I use them for painting journal covers and just basic changing the colors of something. I don't use my craft paint, for my cheap craft paint for anything that would be like whatever you want to call it, like fine art. But for painting a cover or changing the color of something, your dollar store paint will work just fine. Okay, and then you have, of course, I'm not going to be able to show this all at once, okay. Your scissors, an X-Acto knife, hole punch, pen or pencil. Of course, those are all for what exactly these things are for. I'm just going to say one thing. When you get a pair of scissors, make sure you have a pair of fine point if you want to do fussy cutting. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, and then you have things like your stamps and your punches. And things like that. So I have 2 different corner punches. I don't have a lot of punches. They're expensive and they take up a lot of room to store. So buy what you're going to use. Okay, I have inks. The difference between the inks is this is waterproof, this is not. I use them both a lot. Make sure if you're using sprays or coffee dyeing, you know, after you're stamping, you use a waterproof ink. This is great, of course, for water reactive things, techniques, I guess. I use it more in card making, but I really like both those inks. And then, of course, you have your stamps. You know, your clear stamp and your stamp block. Homemade stamps. Wood-mounted stamps. Okay, I'm going to say something about the wood-mounted stamps. I spent a pile of time, you know, and effort on mounting my wood-mounted stamps. I regret it. The way I see it is, I invested in the wood-mounted stamps, and now I have them all in binders, but I don't like it because I used to be able to open my drawer and pull out the set that I wanted. Now I have to go through every binder looking for one individual stamp. That is not time-saving to me. It might be a little bit space-saving, but I'd rather have time than space. And here's the other thing. If you don't have the space to store something, and I'm not talking about people that are confined to really small spaces, because I realize that, you know, anything you have then is kind of hard to store. But I'm talking about people that have a craft room. If you don't have even the space to store the stamp set, is it something that you need? And that's something I've been thinking about. Like, if I can't find the space to store a stamp set, it's probably not a stamp set I really need, because things that you use, you have a space for, or a place for, or whatever you want to say. So that's just something I've been thinking about. Okay, and then I'll just show you this quick. My little stapler. I love my little stapler. It's not, I want to get a mini, like mini staples, but this is just the nano. And then of course, you know, you need a way to bind your junk journal. So I prefer the pamphlet stitch over rings or the cinch or the binder doll. I like the way it looks, and I'm left-handed, so I always hit rings, and I obviously don't care for that. You can bind it with any needles that you want. I like these because they work well, but I know lots of people use awls. I have one, I don't care for it. I like these. I can, you know, take them with me. Like, I travel to Saskatchewan quite often, or I shouldn't say quite often, but at least once a year. And I can throw these in my bag, make a journal, which is part of the reason I like them. And I like, even with my clear stamps, I like things that are compact in that way for traveling. But that's a totally different video, and I will go over things like that I take with traveling or that I use on the go. But that's your basic to start junk journaling. So thanks for watching.